So yes, the pest control called me in the podcast. That's why I got off camera. He said he was gonna be an hour away. He'd be there around 6:30. Does that work? And I'm like, bruh, what other days you got? Like tomorrow morning? And he was like, yeah, I can come. What's the earliest? So he's coming tomorrow at 7:30.
Why you didn't want him to come at 6 today? 6:30.
Because I didn't want to have to interrupt this.
Girl, you better get that house. That's your house.
I do. Theodore's actually been a little helpful. He's the whole reason I even knew something was in here. He was fixated with underneath the stove. And I'm just like, well, what is it? A toy? Is it food?
I got a whole little Tom and Jerry situation going on.
Except Theodore he's the scary cat. Like he acts like he's all bark or bite, and he's just he's all bark. Like he runs away. So I don't know how long it's been in the house, but a few more hours will survive as long as Theo is around.
Well, what you guys? That's some pizza.
I'm sorry. You want me to get off the camera?
No, it look good because I want some too.
It is good.
Girl, what you got? Some wings and some breadsticks over there too?
See, I'm not
getting
married. It's had a personal pan pizza and some boneless wings, and because I'm greedy, I got some breadsticks too.
He'll eat pizza because he all in your
right
with some water to make it healthy.
That sounds delightful. I might go get
it is. No, I haven't been cooking until we can figure out what's going on with the situation. Yeah, you don't have to go, sir.
Like he want a slice.
He want anything I have.
All right, y'all ready?
We ready.
We ready. We ready. Just let me get a last bite. We ready. We ready. Sir.
Oh, y'all. You said you ain't feeding Theo.
I just gave him his food.
Clearly not, honey.
I ain't no cats eat pizza.
Theo will eat anything if you give it to him. And we'll try to eat it even if you don't. All right, that's the good. See ya.
Alrighty.
Shakalaka.
Top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Worst Ones Podcast. This is the podcast for us preachers, kids to come and be the absolute worst. My name is Rudy Wilson. I am a PK. Kellie Leasy is in the building. She is a PK. Jay Rihanna is in the building. She is also a PK. As Kellie disclosed last week, we are double recording because this is different. Even though she looks different, this is the same Kellie.
I'm gonna put on a different pair of Christmas pajamas.
But as of right now, or maybe it was last week. So at some point, Kellie's birthday has happened. I don't know if it's why y'all
last week.
So, but either way, that is why we had to record too. So, does anybody have birthday? Does anybody have anything that they didn't say last hour that they want to say this week? Or as far as updates?
Well, I have thoughts. Yeah.
Go for it. Carry on.
Well, I told you guys last time that I was put up my fall decorations. And I do have on my Christmas pajamas, but I don't know if I ever told y'all on the podcast that I buy new Christmas pajamas every year. It's like a me thing, and now this year will be Theo's first year of getting Christmas sweaters, Christmas outfit, Christmas pajamas. He will be dressed to the T. And my dog nephew, Oliver, that's my sister's dog, he already dresses up. He has all the clothes. So we're going to try to get Oliver and Theodore to do a little photo shoot.
Oh, that'd be so cute.
You know, it was always my dream and goal to have for me and Jessica to have our kids close, just because all of my cousins were stair-stepped in age. But at this point, Layla's about to be 18 this year or next year. So that should pass sale, but we can have fur babies that are cousins. So let's see. So for all of our 552 cute Christmas pajamas, onesies, I have them all. Let me know because I got to get my annual Christmas pajamas, and that's
we looking for Theo.
me and Theo probably matching, but if it's Halloween costume, the pirate outfit is funny.
I love it.
What a gotcha. Okay. That's what's up. What about you, Kellie?
Do you have any birthday plans?
I new Christmas pajamas every year.
No, day night engagement photos. Jasmine Sullivan. He wants to go. The DJ that we have for the wedding also DJs a couple of spots in the city. So he said we may hit one of them up this weekend. Just to, go and hear him. He is a friend of his from college, but like I said, he DJs a couple spots. So talked about going to do that. We talked about doing virtual reality. I like games, escape rooms and those things. And so we did this virtual reality. He wanted to bring some friends along and do that. So he likes to do little fun, random things like I do. And he likes to, one of the things I fell in love with is, single, like you figure everything out by yourself, like I got to go figure out what I'm gonna do this. So if I want to go have fun with my friends, we got to go, figure it out together and pay and get in the car and whatever. And like with him, he'll be like, all right, just be ready at 4:00 and we'll just go on an adventure to 3, 4, 5 different places. And I just get to get in the car and have a good time. Love it.
Mm-hmm. I love that for you. And
thank you. Thank you. I love it.
Gotta see what you're doing for others.
So I'm sure that's on the agenda sometime this weekend. And yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Again, like I said, in the wedding planning, I had kind of forgotten about it. And I don't think about it, like usually I'm like hyper focused. It's my birthday. But this year, like I said, I talk about something wedding related every day.
Have y'all been to Beat the Bomb before?
Yes.
I was going to say, try that one.
Yeah.
VR Bar is another good one.
We did VR. I don't know if it's called VR Bar. We did the one at, I think we went Sandbox at.
It's like Howell Mill. I mean,
you're like, yeah.
Over there.
Yeah. We did that one. Yep. Yeah, we did the Squid Games one. It was so much fun. And it was just 2 of us. So he wants to take some friends to do more of us. So it's fun. Like I said, there's an escape room over there. I love a good escape room. So yeah, we'll see what it.
Hey, sounds like you have good plans.
Yeah, so it'll be a good time. Good time. So I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
Yes.
Good. My car's still wrecked. That's it.
No, at this point you have come to Atlanta to pick up DJ's old car.
Right.
I'm just talking.
No. Hopefully that's the case. That would be
I'll call him after. Well, he got Bible study tonight, so I'll try to call. If I don't talk to him tonight, I'll call him tomorrow.
Yeah. Please do. That'll be clutch.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but we have a few church announcements. First, thank you all for listening, and make sure that you find us on YouTube at The Worst Ones Podcast. You can also find us wherever you find your podcast, Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts. You can find us there at The Worst Ones Podcast. And when you get there, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and you share. Thank you. Now back to the show.
We have more videos for our viewing audience to watch.
My brothers and sisters, God is not a God of confusion. We will have our worship experience, and we will conduct ourselves in a Christian manner. And if you do not conduct yourself in a manner which is in line with that of being a Christian according to the Word of God, you will be asked to leave. We're going to ask you to be escorted out.
So when we asked you to leave, you
Hallelujah.
said you didn't want to go.
Hold your peace. Hold your peace, please.
No, because he's up there in the pulpit talking about it again. Just speak your word that you want to speak today and let it be.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to get up
But
there every
Robin,
Sunday.
see if the officer is out there and ask you
He's
to come
fine,
in,
but you
please.
won't be touching anybody. Nobody in here will be
How
touching
can you
anybody.
do that when 2 weeks ago your wife was condemning people to hell?
And telling people they're going to die. They're going to die.
Y'all hold y'all peace, please, and
But you shouldn't be talking to everybody in the
afterwards.
congregation like you just move on.
I am the pastor here. I am the pastor here.
Employee.
Wife is condemning people to hell.
Down
Obviously, devil worshippers.
Go down now. Hallelujah.
First they're going to come get is you.
We are.
And the Holy Ghost is telling me to put the oil in your hand. Give me one more bottle of oil. You sure this is glue? Take it off. Give me the oil. Give me the oil. Come, we're not on the camera. Come. The woman of God took off her wig. She wasn't ashamed. Give me the oil. She took off her wig. Give me the oil. Open it. Rakanda da da ba. Deliverance. Open your mouth. Deliverance. Deliverance.
We have a video of I don't know if he's a pastor or not, but he looked like he's at least preaching or facilitating the service. And he pours oil on a woman's head. Maybe he realized that her hair was pretty absorbent and it didn't reach the crown of her head. So he then began to pull off her wig, snatch it off. Actually,
Asked if it was glued on first.
Snatched it off like as if they were in a cat, and then completely engulfed her in the oil. After that, completely just drenched her in the oil. Hopefully, she got her breakthrough. And then the other video was a pastor who his congregation was sick of him, apparently. Sick of him, his wife, and basically they was, I guess they were trying to kick him out of the church. What were they doing?
I don't know what was happening.
I don't. But he basically, I don't know. They was beefing with their pastor. I'm assuming.
It looks like it was offering time because they holding the plate.
Right. Yeah, because the deacon was like, "Yeah, hold your peace." He was like, "Hold your peace" back there, and they was going off on him, and he going off on them, and trying to get them escorted out. So when it comes down to these pastors, these preachers, our topic of discussion is these preachers are doing the most and nothing at all. And I titled it like that because I think a lot of times preachers are they be doing a lot, and I think they be doing the Lord's work and the appropriate thing and or whatever you want to call it, but ultimately it's a good chance that they're not really accomplishing anything, or maybe even backtracking people, especially if there's somebody like our former co-host Terry Wayne. I mean, he's very easily triggered by anything that happens in church. So what are y'all thoughts on these situations, on these preachers who are doing a lot, doing the most, but ultimately could be doing nothing at all?
So I love the title because I think it's most fitting. As absolutely doing the most and nothing at all. And I think I'll just start short. I think it just goes back to the things that we talked about with lack of anointing. And just like you just fake pastor, fake prophet. And you just get up there and you imitate what you feel like. To me, like the oil thing reminded me of like a child, like, oh, like you playing church at the house. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm 5, 6-year-old and I went to church and I seen them, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
pour oil or pray, you know what I'm saying, lay hands.
Right.
And I'm just going to imitate that at the house. Like it was so childlike, so unbelievable. It was so like you just doing what you think somebody else saw, and then you just trying to do too much. Like, cause you ain't had to take off that woman wig. Like at all, or pour that whole bottle of oil in her head. Too much. So that was that one. And then the other one, again, I need some context. I need a backstory, because my question is, now why y'all still there? Y'all got all this to say in the middle of the service, but y'all showed up to church this morning. Y'all still there? Right. You on mute, Janessa.
Sorry. When I saw it on, I think it was Instagram, low key thankful popped in my mind. And the whole situation with Bishop and some of the deacons. Because when I was looking at it just a few minutes ago, whoever was at the pulpit was saying, if you can't be, I guess, proper, if you can't control yourself, then you need to leave. And that's when one of the congregants was like, when we asked you to leave, you said no. And with Bishop's situation or new thankful, it's a lot more to it. That we were locked out. They changed the locks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I agree. Why are you still there? If there's all these issues, like why would you even do all this back and forth, whatever? But I also don't know the full context of that. I think it does go back to what we were saying, like Kellie, with the anointing and discernment. And who was the shush pastor who was shushing that lady?
What you call it?
What you call it? Yeah, him. Like, that's another one doing too much. It didn't have to be that way. I think, this situation could have been handled, maybe have a conversation outside after church. But just the back and forth during whatever, it seemed like a service was going on. To me, that just does more harm than good. Because, we always like, you never know who's around. Somebody could be visiting and they're like, this is how church goes on. You just, tit for tat with the pastor. But I'll need a little bit more context on that one. Right. Now with the oil one, I agree with everything you're saying, Kellie. And I don't know, it didn't seem like the people knew ahead of time that they was going to get drenched in oil. Because I will say, if I, the church, my dad, I don't think he would ever do that. But you should, like, we're going to have a special prayer ceremony. We're going to oil up everybody. We're going to lay hands, we're going to lay prostrate, and we're going to have corporate worship and praise. I probably might do my hair a little bit differently. Maybe that's not the day that I would wear a wig. But I don't think that they had that knowledge. I agree that it was doing way too much. Again, we don't know if that's that lady's first time. She could have just been there with her friend standing next to her. I think pastors, ministers, church leaders don't do this enough, but they should. Even if you're not even in leadership, you just a Christian in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we just got to be more mindful of how we present or represent God. Because the impacts are so heavy. And I think it's sometimes hard to, maybe comprehend because you haven't seen heaven. You haven't got the streets of gold and the pearly gates. Like, but that's real. You know, heaven and hell is real. And so as leaders in the church, if you're doing too much, you can push people away. You know, if you're doing too much in terms of even like what's the other church we just did 6 episodes on? Hillsong. Mm-hmm. You know, they had the whole Bible college and trying to train up people, but then we find out through the documentary, these people are being humiliated, asked personal questions. Even in that podcast or in that documentary, people said they left the church, never came back. They were never going to a mega church. You know, there's all these things that negatively happen from pastors doing too much.
Right.
And then on the flip side, you know, if you're not doing enough, there can be negative impacts as well. And I know that's not the most uplifting or exciting outlook. I'm not trying to be doomy and gloomy, but I'm just saying as a body, I think we all have to be a little bit more mindful about how we represent or present God,
Right.
Jesus, Christianity, the whole nine.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I'll start with the oil first. So I've seen different things. I mean, we all grew up in church our whole lives, so it's easy to kind of over time just bear witness to just say a lot of different things. So I've seen the oil be used in many ways. I've seen it just as simple as a, you know, dap finger across here. I've seen, you know, like pour it on a hand, like cover my whole hand, and then, you know what I'm saying? I've seen that. I've seen like, you know, oh, there's a, you know, your vocal cords need to be healed, or your womb, you got to have a baby in the womb, so open your mouth and they pour it, and like almost like a, you know.
I see now.
Yeah, oh, you know how like at like a pool party, somebody holding the bottle.
Not the pool party.
Drive the boat. Drive the boat.
Drive the boat.
They're like, and the girl is like,
oh, I know exactly what you're talking about, but not with the oil.
That's too much. Like, yeah, like I've seen that with the oil. Like, hold your head back, drink on the oil, which is
hilarious.
Throw up. But so I've seen it all. So even with this guy, me seeing him do this to this woman, like it didn't necessarily like shock me, like, oh my gosh, look what they be doing in church. But at the same time, it did make me kind of wonder, like, how long ago was this? Because it's like, man, we still doing this same, you know, foolishness. Like it's whatever that woman was looking for, unless for whatever reason him and God had a conversation, and that's what God told him. That's what God told him to do. Like
he did.
Outside of that,
he did. And I want to know what she wanted prayer for all that. Like what?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know what it is she needed from that.
What did she need?
Or whatever. That's why I said earlier. I
hope a hair appointment. Like
whatever she was looking for, I hope she got it. Because
and if it was glued on, was he gonna take it off? Because you can't just rip off glue. You know, your whole edge is gonna be gone. So if it was glued on, what you was just gonna pour it on her head? So is it okay to pour it on her head if it's glued? But if it's unglued, make it make sense.
Right.
It does not.
And are you gonna wash her hair after this? Are you gonna pay for her hair to get done after you've ruined it? You know what I'm saying? Like what if she still get paid for another 2 weeks? So she just gotta walk around, head just greasy, just messed up.
It's moisturized.
All the collars on her shirt getting messed up because it's constantly.
Wait, you owe me a new shirt?
Yeah, it's all.
What if she was going to brunch?
Right.
She was going to brunch.
She had a little brunch day afterwards.
Change it to her bodycon dress.
Exactly.
And go to brunch.
She had a brunch with her future husband. Now she look all crazy and messed up her hair, her wig, her shirt.
Right. Now
that's what she was out there praying for her husband, and he just blocked it.
He was like, "You want your husband? Take this off your head. Take this wig.
Right.
Let me grease your scalp real quick."
I can't.
Come to find out that's not a pastor, that's a hairdresser the whole time.
Right.
Girl, take this off.
This the issue here.
I'm gonna help your soul and your scalp, your soul and your scalp.
But it's I mean, stuff like that to me is just it's overboard. You're trying to look, overly anointed and saved, and
Is it too much?
And
He playing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like go ahead.
It's kind of like when Pastor Michael Todd spit on his hand and put it in his brother's face. He put syrup on the Bible. Just all these kind of theatrics.
But see, to me, I even separate, and even if you think what Michael Todd did was too much, that's not what I'm arguing. But see, to me, I still separate that versus what this guy do. Because see, Michael Todd, he's going overboard in what he's willing to use as an example to make his preaching point. This guy, I don't even see an example being made. You're low-key like humiliating this woman. You know what I'm saying? And she kind of tried to like smile it off, laugh it off. But she was not pleased that her wig got snatched off her head. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not, and even with even as gross as it is to Michael Todd's defense, his brother knew the spit was coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like this woman didn't know that this was getting ready to happen, that she was not only going to get her wig taken off, but then get oil poured all over her head. Which I sincerely believe that whatever it is she needed prayer for, needed God to do, God could have done without that much oil, let alone even oil at all. Like if y'all wouldn't have had no oil and just would have prayed. I mean, we go back to Pastor Kevin and the chapstick. You know what I'm saying? Like he anointed the school with the chapstick. You feel what I'm saying? Like he didn't need to walk through, what school was that at the time? Was that Pine Ridge or what was that?
Oh, that was Dunwoody.
Dunwoody. So he didn't have to walk through Dunwoody and dump the oil on the lockers and on the floor and the watch table and Principal so-and-so come here and dump it on them. And you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't have to do that for Kellie to be okay at Dunwoody. You feel what I'm saying? Like he literally had chapstick, bliss stacks, whatever he was using, and he anointed it. And it's because to me, Kellie, your dad understands the power in what he's doing versus the theatrics of, and mind you, the Lee family are theatrical people. They preach with examples and songs and all this type of stuff, but still know how to move forward without doing the most and nothing at all. You feel what I'm saying? Like there is a way to just say be out of the box, but not be just say out of order or all over the place. And then when it comes down to the other church, I'm still kind of confused on like I guess what the beef was or even why somebody was recording this and putting it out. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, because it's one thing if you have like a live stream type of service and then somebody watches your service, cuts that clip out and then posts it, and now that goes viral. Because to me, I feel like that's what happened with Keon Henderson. I don't think that their camera people put that out and was like, "Ooh, look at our pastor." Shush, But I think they're a big church. They stream YouTube, whatever. So somebody saw it and was like, "Ooh, look at this nigga," and grabbed the clip and then posted. But this camera angle looked like this was somebody just on their phone, just looking at pastor, looking. And it's kind of, it's like, are you a visitor and you showing whatever, or are you a member and you being messy? Like, why does the world even know about whatever this internal beef is? But then even to your point, Kellie, the people who are there, why are you, if you didn't just start feeling about pastor how you felt in that moment, like you felt like that prior to this playing out. So why were you still there? Like what was the point of you still being there to try to even address this? Is the pastor your uncle or something, and you got the type of relationship where you feel like you need to call him out, or you just being messy? Like I just don't really get what that church had going on. But
it sounded. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, it sounded like they both felt like they had the right to be there. Like it sounded like the pastor was like, "This is my church. I'm not leaving. I'm the pastor." And they were like, "No, because when we asked you to leave, you didn't leave." Right. And so it sounds like they're kind of in this battle of, and I don't know if maybe these were members that were at the church prior to this pastor starting. and they feel like, you know, I got more stake in this than you know, and so no, this been my church for, you know, 10, 15 years. You just got here 5 years ago, you know, or whatever. Because otherwise, I feel like most people would just leave, you know. But people who have been at the, you know, Bereans, the New Beginnings, the, you know, whatever, forever, they're like, nah, this is my church.
Right.
You know, I'm not
leaving. I was thinking like also maybe like their, you know, like their pastor who's they've known for years, maybe he passed away, got sick, like no longer in that role. And so this maybe if it's interim or even if it's the new pastor and the people ain't feeling them. Maybe.
Cause that's the only reason why I feel like that you're still there. You know, otherwise I ain't gonna keep showing up. You know, that you still there and you got the audacity to call out in the middle of the and Deke was over there like, ma'am, I don't care nothing about that hand.
Yeah, even with Thankful, you know, even after Bishop left, they have had several pastors over the years. You know, some less than a year. So maybe it's like something like that. You know, I would, unless I had probably didn't know what happened at Thankful, you know, it might have seemed a little far-fetched for me to be like, oh, they've had 6 pastors in 10 years, you know, but maybe it's something like that where this is pastor number 4 and they already like, look, we waiting for you to leave so we can get somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point, Kelly. Like I said, if because I can imagine if just say things had played out at New Beginning differently. Let's say like if Bishop had passed away when we were like younger, all of us were still going there, or even he just stepped down, retired, whatever. But all of us who had been at New Beginning for all those years, decades, whatever, then all of a sudden, you know, some new guy, and not somebody like a, you know, Bishop Bowles, who we know, he took over the church, but we already knew him because he was already there. But it was just somebody else. And especially if we had a problem with him, like we would, that I can see how that beef would start. You know what I'm saying? Like we want you gone. We do not want you here. You know what I'm saying? And you keep showing up, you keep causing problems, you keep whatever. And because we're grandfathered in this church, I don't want to just leave and find another church. Like this is my church. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my church. We just need to find a better pastor. I shouldn't have to leave because this church was fine before you got here. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like we, you know, you were the reason why we built up and then, you know, whatever. Like we were already fine before you got here. So that's a great point. I do get that. I think that and no church is perfect. No, you know, you're dealing with human beings. So all churches are gonna have some type of like internal affairs that could be a little rocky. I just think that it's interesting when it gets to the point where it's now exposed, you know, just say to the outside world. Because there was this old video. Me and my roommates in college used to laugh at this video all the time. We used to watch it in college. And the video, I believe, is even older than when I was in college because it looked kind of old school, maybe like early 2000s or something. But there was like this. I don't know who the woman was. Maybe she was a church secretary or whatever. But this woman and the pastor, these are older people. Both of them definitely at least 60 plus. They're going back and forth. And so the pastor like fired the woman. He was like, you fired. And then the woman just hauls off and just slaps the pastor, open hand. Just, and then the pastor rears back and punches the woman. Like he's like, what? And like because he's old, like it wasn't like a punch, like it was almost like he threw it and it kind of like mushed her. Like it didn't like knock her out or whatever. It was kind of like she slapped him and he just was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, geez. And we used to laugh at this video because we just thought it was funny. But when church business, if you will, can get to that point of the video that we saw today, or even that point of slapping the pastor, him punching back, like to me, I think there's a deeper rooted problem. We're not just talking about just internal affairs with the ministry. Like I think these humans have, you know, a deep rooted issue that they may need their wig pulled off and oil doused, you know, on top of their head in order to receive that level of deliverance. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I think it's really interesting that churches can get to that level, just say, of hatred for each other, especially with the pastor. You know what I'm saying? And maybe we're just blessed and fortunate and even spoiled to, to have good pastors, even our pastors, our dads being good pastors and stuff like that. So it's kind of far-fetched for us to see, or to see somebody have that type of anger towards their pastor, but apparently it's a reoccurring thing.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
it's happening a lot. So
it is.
But I do have a jewel whenever we do it.
Short episode.
I'm about to say, well, yeah, this episode is, we like 30 minutes short right now.
Short episode.
It's fine.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's do the.
It was more of a fun episode. All right. So this week's Jules is following in the series, I guess, that I'm doing called Follow the Process.
Okay, series.
Yeah, I guess is what it is. So this has been on me, me and Kellie talked about this for years at this point, just the desire to want to get married and to have kids. And I'm not giving up on that. I'm believing, hopefully, that God is going to bless me with marriage and children. But I'm not going to lie. I sometimes get nervous about parenthood just based off like my family and friends experiences. I know they love their kids and will do anything for them. But, I also get the conversations of it, the struggle. They're expensive. Mm-hmm. You feel like you're an Uber driver. You don't have time for yourself. You lose yourself. We've all heard these things. And so that's kind of like I would say like maybe a fear or just some anxiety about that in the back of my mind. However, God is God, and he's constantly using everything in my life to just not even just show me, but grow me. And it's interesting as I'm kind of going through it, as I'm older and able to reflect, and how I'm just kind of now able to see how he's moving and working. So you guys know I got Theodore in March. Love my cat. It was more so, as an emotional support animal, a companion. But it's interesting how I feel like God is preparing me. Of course, I'm not saying that having a cat is the same thing as having a child. But, I have to feed Theodore every day. I have to get his flea and tick medicine. I have to get his nails cut, unless I want to be scratched up, which I currently am. If I go out of town, I got to find a sitter. I need to put him, in a shelter or kennel or something like that. There's just certain things that I'm having to do that I've never had to do before. And, but I appreciate how gentle God is, because, it definitely could have been a harder transition with never having any pets and then having a child. But I do feel like he is preparing me subtly in this way. And so all I can say is, I don't know when my husband's coming. I don't know when the children's coming, but in this season, I just got to stick with what is in front of me. And Theodore obviously is something that is in front of me every day. And so that's what I'm focusing on. It's just the things that are currently in my life, and whatever is meant to be will be. And even with Theodore, even with school, even with work, I am slowly coming to accept this, because I really didn't accept this. But obstacles are opportunities to grow with God. It's easy to be like, it's an obstacle and immediately gripe and complain and, stress out trying to figure it out. But I am slowly trying to, anytime there's an obstacle at work, at school, in life, is to use that as an opportunity to grow with God, because I can't do it on my own. I've just gotten to a point where it's literally faith and trust and prayer, and that's all I got. So I just want to encourage everybody to follow the process, whatever process you're in, and to just try to change your perspective that obstacles are opportunities to grow with God. And that's what I got.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
I absolutely love that. Obstacles,
opportunities.
opportunities.
Come on.
To grow with God.
Amen. You make that up on your own?
Huh?
You make that up on your own? You stole that from somewhere.
I did. And it's funny because I wasn't going to have a jewel for this podcast, for this episode. I literally, in between our break, I had to go feed the cat. And it just kind of hit me.
Just hit. Ooh, come on. Obstacles are opportunities.
Because all I had, even when we sat down and we was doing our pre-talk, all I had was obstacles are opportunities. It wasn't until I spoke it that it said obstacles are opportunities to grow with God.
Girl, you need to write that in the book. You need to copyright that, girl.
I'm telling you, that right there.
Before I steal it.
That's
just give me some money.
I was just thinking, I was like, I think that's my next tattoo. I got
let me know.
I got that right
you
there.
You said that. You need to go copyright that one.
That is power. Obstacles are opportunities to grow with God.
That's a sermon. That's a word.
And I'm gonna tell it to my dad and see what he can do with it.
Honey, I may got me.
Hey, I'm gonna tell it to my dad. See what he can do.
Me too.
My dad is preach on that.
I'm just using the conversation though. I'm like, you know what, Dad? Because you know, obstacles are opportunities to grow with God. He's like,
yes, daughter.
Right. I'm like, I know. That's the word in my spirit today.
It's so funny when I was telling my dad about the no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and I was telling him my revelation. He was like, look at the Lord using you. I said, look at him.
I love it.
That's obstacles.
That is to grow with God.
I absolutely love that. That's why I had to write it. I had to type that out. I said, we need to put that on the screen.
That's good.
Oh,
that's good.
Well, I'm glad the Lord, I'm being used some way because sometimes it don't feel like it,
Listen, I may open up my page just to post that on
there. now, Kellie.
That's word everybody need to hear that.
I'm gonna have to come up with a special word for you.
I may open up the page so the world can see that one.
I'm gonna have to come with a special jewel for Kellie in her social media.
That's a good one, man. I'm gonna have to post that one.
Well, until further notice.
I mean, right now it's today. Well, not even today. At this moment that we are recording this, we still private.
Right.
Princess Plus 51. Now, in 2 weeks, when this come out, we're gonna see what the Lord gonna do. You know what? Obstacles are opportunities to grow with God.
To grow with God. Even Kellie, if you a baby step and you make it public for 60 minutes.
See, the issue with that is all them people who wanted to follow me that I wouldn't let follow me, they ain't gonna be able to follow me. And I ain't gonna be able to delete them.
I was say then you gotta block them.
Right, right. I'm gonna be able to delete them.
Block them. And then after you block them, you can unblock them and they won't be following you.
And they won't be following me.
Or just at least post it for the people who've already made it past the wall.
Right. I'm not for real. You come across that this week on my page, girl. I'm gonna put your name. I'm gonna put at J Rihanna _. Go ahead and put that up there.
We have fun over there.
Put that up there. At J Rihanna _. They got the word over there. They got the word over there. At J Rihanna _.
Oh my gosh. But before we get off the podcast, there's a couple of things I did want to mention.
Okay.
I know we're not a political podcast, but I just want to encourage everyone to vote and register to vote. Absolutely. I'm not saying who to vote for. I'm just telling you to vote. And then also, typically, what'd you say?
I said I think it's pretty obvious who we're voting for.
There's the president.
I would say now, if you think we were voting for that other man, but so yes, go make sure you're registered. Check your registration because I had an issue with mine. So make sure you check your registration and make sure you vote. If you need an absentee ballot, go ahead and get that. So, you know, you're not missing it. And I know we don't really do this as well, but it just seems like it's been a lot of people. But I want to do a huge, just overarching rest in paradise to Frankie Beverly, James Earl Jones, Rich Homie Quan. If I'm missing somebody, it was, Lord, forgive me for slipping, my mind slipping, but it was several people.
Harriet Tubman, MLK. No,
all right.
No, I'm just kidding.
No. But you know, several icons in our culture recently passed away.
No.
I mean, I'm really hating that I'm forgetting some names. But yeah, just rest in peace and God cover their families and everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it happens so rapidly too. I mean, news happens fast, deaths happen fast. So I mean, it's hard to keep up with all the names, but definitely, shout out to them, shout out to their legacy, shout out to their families. We ask that the Lord keep them in their time of grief.
Tito Jackson.
Tito, yes.
He just recently passed. It's like 5 or 6 people.
Yeah.
I feel like it's another rapper, but I can't remember. But yes.
I got you. Absolutely.
Before
okay, I see you, Janessa. I see.
Get Theo preparing you for your kids and the worst ones, and these jewels preparing you for your ministry.
Listen, wait a minute. Let me tell you something. Obstacles.
Let me ask y'all: does ministry require school? Because I am schooled out. Okay? If I gotta get one more degree.
Ministry these days halfway required.
Right.
Ministry.
Listen, if I gotta get one more degree or a certification, the Lord is gonna have to do it for me.
You have to go to MIT, ministers and training.
Right. These days, ministries are opportunities to grow your pockets with God.
Listen,
right.
Listen. But that's exactly what it is. Like,
not with God, using God.
Right.
You done messed up my head. You done told me to shut up. You done embarrassed me. Like, you done gone viral from embarrassing me. You done taken off my wig.
Right.
Love, you done gone viral embarrassing me.
I'm telling you.
Oh, man.
I just got this fresh wig yesterday. Put it on this morning just for press service.
Just for press service, and it done got snatched.
After you done drenched it with oil. Ridiculous. Like I said, ministers don't even have ministry.
Right.
Listen, I don't know if there's enough clarifying shampoo to get that out.
Listen, that wig gone, baby.
I don't know if
that wig gone.
There's any saving that.
You need a hair appointment and a new wig. On the church.
Right.
Listen, now that's a ministry, a wig ministry.
Right. Baby. Ooh, I've been hot.
All right, shout out our producer as well at RHESA_G. And please subscribe to us on YouTube and on all podcast platforms at The Worst Ones Podcast. That's ones ONE''S.
Hey.
Happy birthday, Kellie. That happens in real time. Yeah, man. Y'all just keep us in y'all prayers as we would do the same for you guys. And continue to support us.
Kellie.
We
Poor Kellie.
Too bad you ain't on your phone. Don't the peace sign.
Oh, right. Give me
the I'm not on my phone. It's over here.
Hilarious. Thank you, Janessa. It's a party.
Yeah. So we're excited to see the engagement photos and all that good type of stuff.
Yeah.
So enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
I appreciate you too.
I got me a bodycon dress for my engagement photo.
Oh, yes. Show us what you got, Kellie.
A little bodycon. I'm playing, but I'm serious, but I'm playing.
Right.
We see each other.
Well, thank you guys for always supporting us. Please continue to watch, listen, like, comment, subscribe, leave reviews on the podcast platform. 5-star review will be appreciated. Once again, if you're here during the Suits era, welcome. And we are the worst ones. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys.
One more thing. Is our viewership going up? I remember at one point we had like 18 views.
Yeah, I told you the most we had recently was like 31, and that was on one of the, I think, Hillsong ones. So they fluctuate sometimes. It's what they're definitely more. They're consistently more than what they were, which was 2
million.
So now we range anywhere between like 12 to 13 to like million. Like 30
million.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
you just kept forgetting that word. I just want to make sure our viewers knew that you didn't mean you were talking about 2 million, 30 million views.
Because it's a party.
Thank you guys. We love y'all. We the worst ones.
Top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world.